Welcome back to Sportsmanlike Conduct Podcast. I'm your host, Cassius Clay. We are back in the studios of Industry City, Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
Yo, P, what's up, bro?
What's good?
Yo, what's the highest level of basketball that you played? The highest level of basketball you played?
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man. It has the word pro in it. That's good enough.
That's good. So when you were in high school,
Yeah.
right? If they approached you with a NIL deal,
My coach would have violated.
Nah. They got to come to you, not your coach, right?
Nah, listen, you have Coach Alfred.
hey,
Oh, he threw the name out there.
Yeah, fuck him.
Shout out to Coach Alfred.
Alfred, he don't like you.
Still.
Brother O,
Yo,
we're going to talk about NIL deal soon, man.
you talking about the one I could have had back in the 90s?
Yes.
Word.
Yeah.
Brooklyn College gave me an NIL deal.
That's
bro.
right.
Real
I turned
nice.
it down.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, smash all the buttons one time.
Yeah, what happened to the mug, girl? No mug?
It's
girl?
right there. They see the mug. See it. You see the mug. You see the Sportsmanlike Conduct mug. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yo, why does the accent make you more serious, son?
I don't know.
What the hell is that?
I was something about, I don't know.
Yeah, real nice.
What's up?
You had a scholarship to play
Yes.
basketball.
Yes. Adelphi University.
That's right. What did they give you?
What you mean, like scholarship-wise?
NIL.
No. NIL
Oh,
deal.
shit. Let me tell you, it wasn't no NIL 91, 92, okay?
They gave you a Honda Accord?
But if they gave me NIL,
They gave you a
I'd have
train
been more
pass?
than grateful.
I hear you. Big Chris.
Yes.
Coach a lot of kids, man.
Yes.
Any of them getting NIL deals?
Actually, I think some of them are.
Yes. You want to say their names?
Nah.
Dirk Dash.
Peace, brother.
What's happening?
Chilling, bro.
Now I'm looking at these NIL deals. First of all, let's get to this kid, Tennessee. I don't know how to pronounce his name. You know how to
His
pronounce
first
his
name
name?
is Nico.
Nico, I am leaver.
Right.
When they said I am a leaving Tennessee, that's what his name is.
So he told Tennessee, listen, you got to up that NIL money, kid.
Wow.
From $2 million to $4 million.
I know why he did it now that I found out.
Did we not think that this is going to happen sooner or later? Right?
Of course.
That's why all this transfer in the body.
Yeah.
You give me money, I transfer to your school. That's what's happening. But I think he thought wrong because they said take a walk, and now he's signing with UCLA for less money.
Yeah, 'cause we don't get the money.
There's I gotta look it up, but I know why
You know why?
he's like that.
But regardless of why he's like that, man, like, that's not what NIL is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be.
Hey, the NCAA messed that shit up. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck
It's
what
not.
these
It
what they
wasn't.
wanna do.
It's not designed for that. Like,
Well, see,
Don't matter.
that's the problem is that it's not designed at all. There's no governing body with the NIL. Every state has its own rules. Every college, which means every college has its own rules regarding NIL. So you have some schools that allow the school itself to pay them an NIL deal. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you why he asked for that.
Okay.
Carson Beck, Miami Hurricanes of Miami, Florida, of Gino. Oh man, why am I drawing a blank? What was the quarterback back in the day? Gino something. Not Toretta. Toretta is from freaking Fast and the Furious. But anyway, they gave him $4.3 million NIL deal. So your man was like, if he could get $4 million, I want $4 million. I think I'm a better quarterback than that guy.
Right.
That's what the
And they was like, no. All right, so you got to go elsewhere. I'm not staying with you. I'll take less than my asking just not to play with you because you didn't want to give it to me. So that's what's going to be going around happening now. Listen, I get it, man.
So,
if
but
you're a
who's
college
paying-
athlete, get whatever you can.
so, but who's paying? So, who's paying him the NIL money?
Oh, the university through boosters or whoever. They paying him to work. So he's on that NIL deal and they could basically make him play football and do appearances. Go into car dealerships or whatever they want to do.
See, the NIL is kind of like, along with this transfer portal, is like free agency for these kids.
Every year.
But unlike the pros, there's no cap on what they can pay these kids.
Yep.
So that's why a lot of the smaller schools are complaining, because they don't got the same money as Tennessee, as UCLA, and stuff like that. So some of these smaller D1 schools are actually looking to go to D3 now, just so that they can try to be competitive down there, because they know they're not going to be competitive with these larger schools that can pay these kids the money.
But I don't.
St. John just picked up a guard, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Carolina.
You know that's NIL.
Jack, what's his name?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I'm a little confused here because I thought NIL was like, let's say like a third party, brand. Like let's say for instance, like a Beats or a Nissan.
Well,
or
it
something.
is. It's that as well.
So why am I hearing that the school is giving out this
Because
money?
the school
Because the
wouldn't
school-
sanction that back in the day before NIL.
Yeah, you
was a
couldn't
thing.
work if you got a
couldn't get
scholarship.
paid.
Huh?
As a student athlete, your responsibility was being an athlete. No
Okay.
matter how much money they made off your likeness, you could not get a sponsor or you'll be kicked out the program.
Okay.
So now it's basically a deal between three parties. So you're not wrong, but basically it allows you to get paid while still being a student athlete.
Yeah, I understand that. So for
No, but
instance,
see, to answer your question, basically is what, like he said, it's name, image, and likeness. So what you have to understand is that the schools are allowed to pay you because they licensed out your image when it's in these NCAA games on PlayStation. When
the
it's
school is paying you?
Yeah.
the school can pay you because they're making money off of your image, because they're making money off of their teams being in these games for PlayStation and Xbox and all of that stuff like that, and the posters, the banners, anything that they put out there with your likeness, they're making money off of that. So now technically you're their employee.
It's two streams of revenue. One, the school's paying you, and then you can get your endorsements.
From
Right.
something else, right?
Right.
So, see,
Yeah.
my understanding was that the other endorsement, like for instance, Bryce Young, right? The kid that I think he went to Alabama or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
playing with
Carolina.
He got endorsed.
That's
He was
Pete's
getting
quarterback.
endorsement from Beats. He was getting endorsement from Nissan. And I think he got endorsement also from Cash App.
Okay.
So they were paying him money before he even pretty much went to the NFL. So you're saying is that those companies gave the money to the university?
No,
And
that's
then-
separate from
they're
the
separate.
university
Listen,
salary.
People have multiple NIL deals. There's not just one deal. So it's not like, so you can, like, what's her face? Juju. She's got State Farm. That's one of her deals. Now she might have another deal where the school itself USC is giving her money. She might have another deal where, you know what I'm
another
saying? So
company.
there's you're getting multiple streams of income.
So how's the school using her NIL?
Like a jersey.
Just
jersey.
the jersey.
If they put you on a commercial,
games.
they supposed to pay you for that. They weren't getting paid before for that. They put you in a video game. Yo, shout out. Do you know who started all this?
Fab Five.
Missouri?
Well, them too, but they were the most revenued basketball team that they didn't get anything from. But the one who started fighting the system was Ed O'Bannon.
Ed O'Bannon, yeah.
Ed O'Bannon started this, and this is probably well over 10 years ago. It said your man was walking in the video, he's playing the NCAA 2K or something like that. The man walked in and saw, yo, that looked like me playing for UCLA, and I'm not getting anything. So he lost too. That's the crazy thing. He lost.
Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, the NCAA did it to themselves, man.
They did. That's why I don't feel bad.
Hell no. You get what you can get.
What-
Carson Beck get
listen,
4.3 million. I don't care.
I'm all for these kids getting their paper, but they've got to govern this some type of way, because
yet.
right now it's out of control right now. You know how many kids they've got? Over 2,000 kids in the portal right now. These kids, if you go in there and look, these kids are moving around like crazy. Especially like I was saying, mentioned last week, or during the meeting, you've got this one kid who put himself in the transfer portal because there's 2 times that they can go in as far as football that they can go into the portal. So you got a kid like right after the FBS games, they can go into the portal. Then in the spring, they can go into the portal again. So you can have a kid go to one team and then be there and decide, you know what? I don't like this one. Now I'm going back over here twice in one season.
And you can actually play college ball for 7 years, bro.
Yeah.
They give you like 3 years extra eligibility. Mm-hmm. So you'd be like
word?
Yeah.
You could be like
25-year-old.
So what's the
still
problem?
playing.
What's the problem with that? That they can go from one school to the next school. They making money.
The market is the market.
I'm
I'm
not
not complaining
there's
about
a
that.
problem with it at
Yeah,
all.
there's no problem.
Personally.
The only problem is the IRS, kid. The IRS is complaining.
That's not a problem.
That they're not
Trust me,
getting
the
their
IRS is getting their paper.
Yeah.
Are they? Because from what I'm
for
hearing
sure.
is that what they doing with these NIS deals, that they have them under non-for-profits. And because they're under non-for-profits, IRS is not getting their cut.
I've
we
never
can
heard
look
that.
that up.
IRS has never
We
lost.
can look that up.
Yeah.
We can look that up.
I've
But
never
that's what
saw-
I'm hearing.
I'm gonna
So
look that up, really.
Yeah, look that up.
I've never. IRS has never
what they
lost.
cut.
So you're the highest woman is the LSU gymnast, Livy Doon,
Yeah.
4.1 million. LSU.
Damn.
The highest male is Arch Manning, $6.1 million.
Damn.
He's getting 6.
6.
Word.
That's why he's not rushing to get to the
You're in
NFL.
Why
college.
would you?
You're in college
That's great,
with
man.
6 mil. And I'm sure he's going to class.
He has no
I'm
choice.
sure those AP courses are kicking his ass, kid.
Oh, it's online, son.
Yeah,
You don't
man.
have to go to
Listen,
class.
it's a big deal now, man. It's NIL.
Hey, listen, it's
It's
NCAA's
their
fault,
fault,
man.
bro. It's their fault. It's their fault. They created every problem that they're going to deal with this. That's why there's no but to the situation. Pause. Because ultimately, if you sit here, you want to capitalize and you want to, let's be serious, like college, how many times have we
$1 billion
heard some
sport.
type of scandal with how finances, you feel me? So you've been making money off of the backs of children since inception.
Yep.
So the fact is, if children are now making money off of you, bro, you can't even be mad. You gotta break even. You gotta call it even, bro. Until you guys can figure out a way to get back on top, because that's what business is. That's what business is. But bro, you're making money. It's not like these players are, you're gonna bench them. And then on top of it, another reason why I'm for it is because it makes people do their job. It makes people do their job as opposed to sitting down. Bro, people have top recruits. Yo, we're going to get this recruit. There's a bunch of players that don't pan out. We talk about the percentages, 1% makes it to the league, or blah, blah. There's a bunch of people that don't pan out. So I'm going to now put this person in a financial bind because of a coaching issue or whatever and stuff like this. This person might not make it to the league because of personnel. They picked the wrong school. Open the option for them to get money while they're in school, because what? There's been plenty of players where they'll speak on like classmates that they had, and like, yo, they had jobs in their fucking junior year because they knew they wasn't going to the league. If that nigga can sit down and play basketball at the top level in college, maybe that's what he wants to call it a career. He don't gotta go to the league. He made enough money for the college for him to make money and be comfortable, even if he didn't want to turn around and be a professional. That's how I feel.
To hinder you from working just because
Yeah,
you're
you get what I'm
playing
saying?
college
Like,
sports?
that's fucked up. You're
That's
putting
fucking
somebody
madness,
in a financial bind and you don't want to pay them, but yet you're making all this money off the back of
Making
them.
millions
Fuck
and
that.
billions off of that.
Yeah, you remember
Fuck
when
that,
Chris
bro.
Webber said his mother couldn't even attend the Final Four?
Come on, son.
Chris Webber.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Joe.
His mother came and pull up.
Yeah.
But here's like Cooper Flagg, 4.8. Carson Beck, 4.3. Jeremiah Smith, the Ohio State wide receiver, 4 million.
Damn.
So these dudes are making more money than their rookie contracts when they get to
Absolutely.
the NFL.
Absolutely.
What a life, bro. I knew I should have played football or basketball.
You're like 40 years
Instead,
too
I
late.
wanted to be in a jazz band. What an idiot.
Jazz band.
Silly Negro. Yeah, Rudy, man.
What's up?
NIL, man.
Didn't they give you a Lexus?
That didn't give me nothing, Ken.
No.
Nothing. They was giving out nothing.
I thought you had that baby blue Honda Accord. Huh?
I had a sky blue. Damn.
Buick LeSabre?
That was a sky blue Mercury something.
Mercury
Yeah,
Cougar?
my uncle. Shout out to my uncle Richard. He gave me a sky blue
probably a
car.
Grand Marquis.
Or LeSabre.
Nah, I think it was a Grand Marquis. Yeah.
So this NIL, you think is going to get worse?
Yeah.
It'll get worse.
They got corporations involved. That dude from Nike. What's the dude that own Nike?
Phil Knight.
Phil Knight.
I think he got a he invests like I think about $1 billion to Ohio State.
Yeah.
No, what
I
is
mean Oregon
State.
State. I'm sorry. Oregon
His
State.
alma mater is
$1 billion,
Oregon.
kid.
Yeah.
I don't.
Money
He's
like
playing
that.
stadiums. He got track and field events up there.
All right, before we get out of here, Chris, how's it going to get worse? Or is it going to get better?
It's going to get worse because you're going to have teams that aren't going to be able to field enough, not enough players, but they're not going to have the talent to compete. And so when they don't have the talent to compete, they're not going to have money to give scholarships to bring in more kids. They're not going to get the television deals because their team's going to suck. Like, look at Baylor. Every kid on Baylor has nobody on its roster right now because every kid on Baylor put in for the transfer portal. So now they're going from a team. Exactly. So
Makes
now
you do your job.
But I mean,
It makes you do your job.
how does that? But how?
Baylor can pay people.
And
Exactly.
yeah, you're right. Baylor can. But then, all right, let's look at, say, NSU. NSU, Norfolk State, they're going to lose all their best players because these kids are going to say
poached.
they're going to get poached. Now they're going to go up. So they're not going to have a chance to make those television deals because now they're starting from the bottom again.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Loyalty to a college came from where? No, I'm saying
From alumni.
Exactly, right? So more often than not, whatever buzz of loyalty, I don't feel like even the poaching is a problem. And the reason why I keep saying like it forces people to do their job is because there's coaches that we're not even the college in itself. There's college coaches that make well over a good amount for their lifetime. Not doing their jobs, not running prestigious programs or whatever.
But you have some that are running good programs.
No,
like
you
I
have
said,
some-
like
you have
I was
some.
just saying, like with
You have
NSU, they're running a good program.
For sure.
But
If you pick
their players are going to get poached.
if you picked a certain college, right? You were stuck with that college, correct? Back in the day.
Yeah.
Well,
You were stuck with that college.
You go back before the NIL deals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Prior to NIL, you were stuck with a college no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. No matter who, no matter what happens, whether it be a scandal and you lose the coach that you came here for, no matter what, you were stuck because you made this commitment, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. You made money. No? Before NIL, you made no money.
Right.
So now you're stuck, broke, and you're not even on this team for what you joined for. All these forces and all these factors come into play, and it can affect your future. So I'm saying, if you join the portal, it makes institutions do their job. It makes coaches do their job because you know that if you're slipping, niggas is out. People gonna leave. Like, bro, you need to do your job. And this is what I'm saying. We can blame it on NIL, or we can blame the top. It's the
I'm not saying, but
NCAA, bro.
listen, but what I'm saying though is I'm not blaming. I want everybody to get their paper. I want everybody to get their bread. I want these kids, if you're not happy someplace, you should be able to go someplace else. But what I'm saying is that it's going to get worse before it gets better because you have the smaller schools that aren't going to be able to compete with the larger schools offering.
Yeah, because everybody
Norfolk State isn't going to be able to offer anybody $4.3 million.
No, but it's always been like that. It's always been like that based off a program.
But what I'm saying is, now they're not going to be able to recruit, or if they do recruit the kids, like they got this kid Ing, he's not going to stay there now, because now that they've seen what he can do, now that they see how he can ball, he's going to get pulled up to a bigger school. He's gone, and that's not to any fault to what the coach at Norfolk State did. The coach at Norfolk State took a HBCU to the dance,
and hopefully
there's going to be no more Cinderellas.
Exactly.
Yeah. You saw the 4 number 1 seeds, maybe.
Exactly.
That's how it should be anyway. Like that's how it should be anyway.
That's how it should be, but that's not the law of sports. The sports is rooted for the underdog every now and then.
That's subjective. I think in college maybe, but that's subjective.
So that's my point. That's why I think, like I said, until there's a governing body put in place that can say, okay, you know what, we're not going to let all these major schools take advantage of these smaller schools and pluck all your talent away, so that they can get television right deals and that they can pay these kids. That's how it's going to be a problem.
The reason that deal doesn't get done sooner is because you can't trust the NCAA to move in good faith.
No, never.
That's what I'm saying. So the person that would have the person that would have to govern that, you can't trust. So how do I make a deal with you anyway? Because when you had all autonomy to treat people the way they should have been treated, what did you do? You got fat while other people starved, bro.
100%.
Well, one thing I don't hear,
100%. Listen, you're saying the same thing that I'm saying.
No, I am. I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying
that's what I'm saying. And it's just a matter. It's just a matter.
The money component. I'm saying the money component is not as big as a factor as. That's the only thing I disagree with, because I'm saying, even if you take out NIL, there's a bunch of players that said, yo, I would love to play for Coach Cal or whatever. There's a bunch of people that's gonna go to a school because
but that was allowed.
Somebody left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was allowed since 2015. Huh? That had been allowed since 2015.
No doubt, but what I'm saying
been able to go into the transfer portal.
I'm saying it still would have happened. It would have happened slower, but stuff like that already happens. So what I'm saying is, because there was so many problems that didn't matter, because the NCAA they were making so much bread, they were doing all this stupid shit. Oh, yo, we're not gonna fix the problems. We're just gonna try to profit off of it. Now that they're they can't make as much money. Now it's a problem. It's only a problem because NCAA is not eating as they once did. And when you're saying the big schools are beating up on the
you don't think the NCAA is still eating?
I didn't say that. I said as they once did.
They're not eating as much.
Oh, they're not eating.
Well, they just have to share what they've been eating.
No. So that would take off. That would take off their plate.
You know what I'm saying? But they getting more.
No, I'm saying when you get greedy, it doesn't matter if it's $1. If you feel like it's your money, you're gonna be bothered. You get what I'm saying?
So it's getting better or worse?
Huh?
It's gonna get better or worse?
Better. I'm saying better or worse for who?
For the
That's a good question.
That's my confusion.
Well, let me ask this question.
It's gonna get worse for.
Has it come out that
for the teams? Is it gonna get worse for the teams? Obviously, it's gonna get better for the players.
I think they're gonna put a cap on the players
soon. I think that's gonna come.
A cap is coming.
But if they do a cap, they're gonna have to share revenue.
Exactly.
And they're not. And these colleges gonna fight against that.
That's what I'm saying. They don't want to do.
I haven't seen.
Should have never let this happen. Bro.
Yeah, exactly. I've never heard if the NCAA is complaining about it on this. Did anybody hear about that?
No, I just heard the IRS.
So the NCAA is not complaining about it
because they're still making,
because they're making money.
Yeah, of course.
I'll tell you, the only people that's complaining is IRS. Check that shit out. Look it up. They complaining.
Bro, people are just mad that little, bro.
I'm gonna look that up.
Look that up. IRS
it forces people to do their job.
They can't get their hands on it.
Nope.
They can't.
Because they have it listed as a non-for-profit. They got these NIL deals listed as non-for-profits, and they can't get their money. Look that shit up.
But who's doing that?
Look it up.
The players are presenting themselves.
Tristan's gonna look it up.
Or the university.
I gotta look that up.
Huh? The players are representing themselves as non-profit, or the university is representing themselves as non-profit.
The third parties, whoever is listed as a third party, like let's say,
like a booster.
Huh?
Like a booster?
Well, the boosters, whoever's contributing money like that, that's a write-off for them.
Yeah, probably the boosters.
Yeah, that's a write-off for
Yeah.
them because that's a contribution or a donation.
So the only thing they have to do is like do some type of charity bullshit,
Yeah,
and
like-
they're good.
They
So if
know
you
the
got
game.
rich alumni,
Yeah.
you in good shape.
Like
man.
Texas A&M and Texas,
All right, Chris.
Arkansas.
We're gonna come back with that answer next week, man. Or do you have it right now?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just gonna
We're gonna come
I'm
with
just
it.
gonna
No,
read.
I
what-
gotta go.
It says some athletes might not be paying taxes correctly. Many college athletes are young and unfamiliar with tax laws. Some may not receive proper guidance or assume NIL deals aren't taxable. They are. In some cases, collectives and sponsors may not issue 1099 forms used to report non-employee income, or athletes might ignore them. The IRS has reportedly started watching NIL deals more closely. Big NIL earners, some getting millions, are likely to be audited if they don't report income. There has been increasing calls for schools, agents, and collectives to educate athletes about their tax obligations. So basically
So one of these athletes gonna get
they're
bagged.
paying these athletes, but they're not telling them that, yo, you got to pay your taxes on this money.
And that's
hope
why
the
the
agent
IRS
is
is
doing
on.
So
them.
the IRS is going to come around later on and be like, hey, yo, that 4.3 million?
I need like 1.5 from that.
I need 1.5.
Depending on the state
exactly.
you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Rudy. Good
Yeah.
information.
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Chris.
You got it.
See you next week.
Sportsmanlike conduct